Now I also want to meet her. It's been a year. I couldn't believe I lived that long without seeing her. You said, pouting a little and looking down at the box of homemade sweets and pickles that your mom sent for you. She must be thinking I changed after getting married. Your brother, who was sitting across you, chuckled softly. Next week she's coming back. You can meet her, even stay with her as much as you want. Your face lightened and you looked at him. Really, that's great. By the way, how's my Juno? Did he miss me? You asked like a curious child as you were since childhood, and even though you have grown up and even got married, Yoongi still sees you as his cute little sister he loves so much. Yep, but don't worry. He's happy and healthy after all mom is taking care of him. You giggle softly. Wow, looks like the siblings are spending good time here, huh? A voice came brightening your smile even more as you turned only to see your husband coming towards you. Yoongi got up and they both hugged. So you're finally back. I can't spend more time doing nothing. Jungkook came and bent down kissing your temple. How are you, love? Good as always. Jungkook looked. Mom sent me these sweets and pickles for me. She knows me so well. He smiled. Of course she does. But I also understand you, don't I? You chuckle knowing he always gets a bit possessive when you mention someone else loving you more. Like he believes no one can love you more than him. Oh come on, are you actually jealous of my mom now? Jungkook sat beside you with a teasing smile. Jealous? No way, but I would say it's more like a friendly rivalry to see who loves you the most. As you and Jungkook shared this playful moment, Yoongi watched you both with a warm smile, quietly admiring the two of you. He had known Jungkook long before you did, working loyally by his side for years. In fact, he had been the one to bring you and Jungkook together, believing from the start that the two of you belonged together. Seeing you now laughing and happy with your husband, Yoongi felt a deep sense of pride. His decision had been right. He had always hoped you would find a partner who cherished you, and he couldn't imagine anyone better than Jungkook. Okay, fine, we'll see that later. I can prove that even in front of your mother, he said in a challenging tone while you raised an eyebrow. Let's see, she's coming back after a week. Cherry on top, he said confidently while you shook your head, and Yoongi also laughed a little. Jungkook was like two different people. Outside, he was a powerful mafia leader, someone people feared and respected. But at home, he was just a simple, loving man. Around his family and especially with you, his beloved wife, whom he named Love, he was warm, gentle, and kind. He cared deeply about his loved ones and would do anything to make you happy. To you, he wasn't the scary person people saw outside. He was just Jungkook, a husband who loved his family more than anything in this world. Okay, I think I should take my leave. You looked at him. But why, Oppa? Have dinner with us. Jungkook nodded, agreeing with you. I will definitely, but some other day. Actually, I have so many things to look at now that I came after a long gap. You pouted but nodded in understanding. Okay, but you're going to be close to us when mom come back. He nodded, smiling softly while you hugged him before pulling back. Take care of yourself, okay? You nodded. You too. Hyun, come to the headquarters tomorrow. Let's have a meeting. Yoongi nodded and bid both of you goodbyes. You waved at him until he disappeared. Your dear brother is gone. Can I have my wife all to myself now? He said, wrapping his arms around your waist from back and rested his chin on your shoulders. A shy smile appeared on your face as you turned to face him still in his arms. but I think you always have me all to yourself. He sighed, it's not that simple. There are plenty of people out there who wants my wife's attention. He sighed dramatically, giving you a look that was both playful and a little possessive. How am I supposed to keep you all to myself? A shy smile tugged at your lips, and you tilted your head to look at him. Is that so? I didn't realize I was such a prize. You teased him while he chuckled, his dark eyes softened as he looked down at you. Oh, you have no idea, he murmured, brushing a strand of hair from your face. You are my peace, my anchor, and I can't stand the idea of anyone else even thinking about you. But I can't do anything, those are the ones my wife loves so much. You laughed softly, brushing your fingers over his hand. Well, Mr. John, they are my family, but I can assure you that my heart belongs to you and only you. He smiled, pecking on your lips. Good, because I'm never letting you go. You giggled, but then he leaned closer to kiss you, and your heart skipped a beat. Your lips were just inches away, but his phone started ringing, making him clench his jaws. You smiled. What's wrong, Mr. John? Don't tell me your phone is better competition than me. Jungkook sighed, rolling his eyes at the interruption, and then looked back at you with a mischievous glint in his eyes. Trust me, no one could ever compete with you, but some people just don't know when to stop calling. He said, taking out his phone, and you noticed his brows furrowed when he saw the caller ID. I'm not going anywhere. Maybe you should answer, or they'll start thinking you're ignoring them on purpose. He raised an eyebrow, leaning back towards you. Maybe I am. After all, I'm going to have the best moment of my life. Just as he was about to kiss you again, the phone rang once more. You burst out laughing and Jungkook groaned in frustration. I swear I'll throw this thing out of the window if it doesn't stop. Looks like you also have plenty of people who wants your attention. Go and answer the phone, I'm going to cook dinner. He looked at you. Don't worry. You're still going to have all of me. Just give me a second. He said, kissing your forehead, and walked at a distance. You smiled and went inside to prepare dinner. Jungkook's eyes never leaving yours even when he was on a call, but his expressions turned hard, one filled with anger as he got the news from the other side. You walked into the kitchen smiling to yourself. Being with Jungkook was nothing like you had ever expected, but it was everything you needed. Despite the danger that came with him being a mafia boss, he always made you feel cherished, like you were his most precious treasure. He looked at you like you were his light in the middle of his dark world. No one else saw this side of him, the warmth, the gentleness he showed only to you. You once questioned marrying him, wondering if the risk was too high, but he had given you a kind of love that was fierce, protective, and unwavering, and in his arms you felt safer than anywhere else. You knew despite everything you had made the right choice. As you started to cook, which only happens once in a week because Jungkook likes to cook for you and you have cooks assigned, but even after that, you take this chance to pour all your love in the cooking and makes him his favorite dishes on Sundays. Jungkook came inside the kitchen. You spoke without even looking at him as you heard his footsteps earlier. Wow, your call ended really soon. You turned towards him smiling, but your smile slowly faded when you noticed the change in his expressions. A while ago he was so happy and suddenly his face was tensed. There was a storm in his eyes. You could clearly tell that he was stressed. Jungkook, is everything okay? You said, walking near him. You know well that as a mafia boss his life is uncertain and anything can happen anytime. His eyes softened as he looked at you, but there was tension on his face that he wasn't able to hide. He let out a heavy sigh as his shoulders relaxed when he heard your gentle voice. Without a word, he closed the distance, pulling you closer before wrapping his hands around your waist possessively. You could feel the tension radiating off him, but beneath that, something else, a need, raw and unguarded. I don't want to talk about it, just need you. He said in a rough and low tone. You barely had time to respond before his lips found your neck. His kisses were firm, almost desperate, as he held you closer. Jungkook, he said softly, threading your fingers through his hair, trying to soothe him. Let me, you're my only calm in this damn world. You know that? He trailed his lips up your neck while his kisses were growing hungrier, more insistent, as if he needed to lose himself in you to escape the chaos he carried within. The warmth of his breath on your skin sent shivers down your spine. But more than that, the vulnerability in his touch told you that how much he needed this, how much he needed you. You let your hands travel up his back, pressing into the muscles tense beneath his shirt. Jungkook, I'm here. I'm not going anywhere. You whispered, hoping your words would soothe him. He paused, resting his forehead against the curve of your neck. His breaths were coming heavy and uneven. I don't know what I would do without you. Things are really messed up lately, and you're the only one that keeps me together. Gently, you cupped his face, pulling him back to look at you. His dark eyes were soft and vulnerable, a side only you get to see. You don't have to carry all that alone, you know. Whatever it is, I'm here, always to hold you. He closed his eyes for a moment, leaning into your soft touch. Then, without a word, his lips crashed against yours, a kiss that was anything but gentle. It was full of need, a silent plea that how much you help him in keeping calm and grounded. He pulled you even closer, his hands roaming your back, and his grip was firm and possessive. He pulled back, locking his eyes onto yours. Don't ever leave me, please. Never until I'm alive. He again started kissing you, trailing down your neck, but just then you heard footsteps and you quickly pushed him away when you saw your brother. Your cheeks turned pink while Yoongi looked nervous too. He quickly turned his face to the other side while his ears turned red. It was so awkward while Jungkook looked at you confused, unaware of Yoongi's presence. What happened, love? Oppa? He said slowly but awkwardly. Jungkook turned as he finally noticed him. Young? He said, raising his eyebrow in confusion. Yoongi scratched the back of his neck, still not looking at in your direction. I just came because I forgot my phone, but I guess I interrupted. Jungkook raised an eyebrow. Yes, you did. Next time, try knocking. Jungkook, how can you say that to my oppa? Lisa slapping his arm lightly. What did I say wrong? We let the door open, okay? We should be careful if we are. Okay, fine. It was my mistake. Please don't find. I'll just take my phone and leave. He quickly walked away from there because he was embarrassed as hell. He looked at Jungkook a bit angrily. What? Why are you giving me that look like it was me who walked in while a couple was making out? You're really impossible. You said walking out of the kitchen while Jungkook sighed, so now you want to continue that in the bedroom. He said smirking while walking after you. When her mom returned to Korea, you could barely contain your excitement. As soon as Jungkook parked the car outside the house, he threw open the door, barely waiting for it to fully stop. Slow down, love, Jungkook called out, laughing, but his smile was warm as he watched you sprint towards the front door, practically tripping over yourself in your rush. As soon as you spotted your mother standing in the doorway with a warm smile, you dropped everything and ran straight into her arms. Umma. You hugged her tightly, feeling the familiar comfort of her embrace that you had missed so much. She laughed, hugging you back just as tightly. My baby, I missed you so much. You pulled back just a bit. I missed you more than anything. Don't go away for that long again, please. She smiled and kissed your forehead. Your mom cupped your face, her expression softening as she took you in. Oh, sweetheart, you look so happy. I'm glad. Just then, Jungkook walked up, a polite smile on his face. Welcome back, Mrs. Min. He greeted with a slight bow, ever the respectful one despite his intimidating appearance. Your mom's smile widened as she looked at him, opening her arms in a welcoming gesture. As you walked into your mom's house, you watched Jungkook's face soften as he hugged her. He looked a bit shy, which was different for him, especially since he was usually serious. Seeing him this way made you happy. It was like a quiet family moment. Once inside, your mom hooked her arm around yours and leaned closer. So how's married life treating you? She whispered, sneaking a glance at Jungkook. You blushed, glancing at Jungkook, who just smirked. Oh, it's better than I ever dreamed. I feel really loved. Jungkook overheard and squeezed your hand gently, and I feel incredibly lucky. Your mom raised her eyebrow, looking amused. You'd better treat her well, Jungkook. I know how to take care of things if I hear otherwise. She teased, but with a warm smile. Jungkook chuckled, holding his hands up like he was giving in. Don't worry, Mom. I wouldn't dare make you mad. He joked, looking at you with a loving gaze. The three of you spent the afternoon around the table, sharing stories and laughing together. Watching your husband and mom getting along so well made you feel a happiness that was hard to describe. It was like a dream come true. As you leaned into Jungkook's side, your mom looked at both of you with a happy smile. Seeing you two together, I can rest easy. You're truly happy, Ryan, and that's all I ever wanted for you. He squeezed Jungkook's hand and he looked down at you with warm eyes. I am Mom and I promise Jungkook is taking good care of me. Jungkook wrapped his arms around you and nodded to your mom. Thank you for trusting me with her. I won't ever let you down. In that moment, you knew you had always treasured this family time, feeling loved and at peace with the people who meant the most of you, and a man who loves you unconditionally.